I told her I was done and I'm leaving. That's when the fight started. She was trying to stop me from packing, and she started throwing big bottles of vitamins at me. 2 of the 3 bottles hit me square in the middle of my forehead. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, gonna go over a story titled, My Wife Cheated to Get Out of a DUI and Car Impound. And a big shout out to Pablo for sending me this story. And guys, this story is about a guy, he's 39 years old, married for 15 years, and found out recently through certain events that his wife has been cheating on him for 3 years. And she's been cheating on him with another police officer. He's not a cop himself, but I mean a police officer. And obviously, like the title said, because she used it to get out of a DUI, amongst other things. But you're going to see, guys, isn't that just that easy. She doesn't exactly confess to this too easily, as well as the details. And this whole mess he's dealing with here. And as another example, guys, you always have to sleep with one eye open, keep your eyes peeled, watch out for red flags, etc., because you just never know what can happen. And in this situation, his wife's having an affair with a cop. And you can imagine the problems there, you know, particularly with a cop that obviously is breaking some serious rules here, hooking up another woman to get her out of a DUI, amongst other things, and you guys can imagine. So, getting started, it says here, I posted about this a while ago, but I deleted the post because it didn't explain myself very well. I'm typing on a phone, so I'll do my best here. If you're worried about grammar and all that jazz, I don't care. On October 30th, I, a 39-year-old male, received a message from a friend of mine about a rumor of an officer sleeping with a guy's wife in town that I lived in. I was already suspicious because she, my wife, 36-year-old female, changed her phone and computer passwords, spending a lot of time locked in the bathroom, and would clear her browser history every time she got off her computer. We've been married for 15 years now, but I only count 12 years since the affair started. So obviously they're in a small town. He's hearing about rumors about a cop sleeping with a woman, and he's remembering suspicious behavior of his wife. And what do I always say, guys? Pay attention to red flags. If she's guarding her phone like crazy, she's always on it so you can't see where she's on, who she's talking to, always clearing her browser history, something's going on. Amongst other things like missing time, always out late with girls' nights, out late with friends, out late with work meetings. These things add up. It wasn't much to go on, but I decided, what do I have to lose? So I confronted her, and she confessed. She first told me that he just pulled her out of the car and raped her. All she said she could remember was darkness and pain. I didn't believe her and told her I heard you were given a choice of jail or the SCX. The next words out of her mouth was, he said no one would find out, and then ran to the bathroom. So first she accuses him of doing an awful thing, even though, well, let's be honest, him hooking up with a married woman is an awful thing. But, of course, she had to accuse him of something else, and when that guy didn't buy it, runs away to the bathroom. What do you think she's doing? Calling him. I was sitting at my desk, but we live in a small house in an alley, and I could hear her in the bathroom asking him, who did you tell? And that she wanted to go to counseling for S-word assault by a cop. And we can get through this, and we'll work it out. I still don't believe she was telling the truth, which led to her saying, it only happened once, and it's not like I'm having a full-blown affair. So even then, she admitted what she did, but still said, I want to go to therapy for the S-word assault. Throwing the guy under the bus, even though it's been for 3 years, and hoping to work it out. There's nothing to work out, honey. So again, she's in the bathroom again, and I'm standing outside the door, and I can hear her talking, and I heard her say the words clear as day. It was fun while it lasted. I flung the door open, and she throws her phone down to her side and says that she was looking on Instagram, and she was having an affair with this guy for 3 years. Oh, what happened to the fact that he did an awful thing to her? Now it's 3 years? You can't believe a frickin' thing that comes out of her mouth, and already she has enough things coming out of her mouth. I told her I was done and leaving. That's when the fight started. She was trying to stop me by packing. Let me start this again. That's when the fight started. She was trying to stop me from packing. She started throwing big bottles of vitamins at me. 2 of the 3 of the bottles hit me square in the middle of my forehead. I was bleeding and angry. I ended up smacking her, which to this day I regret, but what I had just found out, I'm glad that's all I did. Nobody here is going to rat you out for that one. She's cheating. First makes up the circumstances, then finally admits it. He wants to pack up and leave, and she's trying to forcibly make him stay, throwing vitamin bottles at his head. Does this sound like somebody you want to stay married to? Then she comes to me scratching and screaming. And she said, this is something that happened to me. I try holding her back, but she falls over her computer chair and let out a horrible scream while trying to kick and grab my crotch. Is she off her freaking meds? Good Lord. Run, Forrest, run. After she calms down, she calls the police and tells them, guess what? I attacked her, amongst many other things. They show up and I let them. They look at me, bleeding forehead and scratches on my face. They allow me to pack up some stuff here and leave. I immediately called my brother and headed to another state. I was done with her. Yeah, I would probably change states too after that whole fiasco. But of course, the cops show up and she then blames him. You can't make this shit up. This never ceases to amaze me. And it's amazing how similarities you have in these stories here. While on the drive, she calls and wanted me to come back, but I refuse. She called the police on the 31st of October, but didn't file a protection order until November 3rd, after she knew I wasn't coming back. She wanted him to come back, probably to set him up at that point. I'm surprised she's not calling her cop friend trying to plant evidence or do something like that. So I did all I could to try and find the name of the guy, but I couldn't find anyone. So on the 7th of November, I called the police station. They took my statement, but I wanted a name, and I told them I didn't have one, and how would I? It's not like I was with her when she was stopped, and said, yeah, sure, screw my wife, or was involved with the affair. Even if the cops knew, it's not like they're going to give up another cop for hooking up with another woman. From what I gather, they take care of their own, for better or for worse. And by the way, as if I'm not made clear, abundantly clear in this channel and the other ones, I have great respect for police officers. But, as you know, there are some bad apples every now and again, unfortunately. All they did was call her, which she denied anything had happened, and had a detective talk to the male officers. Did they think he would raise his hand and admit it? No. Looking at body cams to see if she was riding along with him or anything. It's not a big department, 33 officers total, and you can take the female officers out of that. So nothing got done, but that's the police for you. Dude, your situation is small potatoes. That's how it's going to be seen compared to other issues. And again, the odds are extremely likely they're not going to turn on each other. Nobody's going to rat anybody out or something like that. And by the way, you never know. It could have been one of the female officers. That would have been a twist. On the 11th of November, I had to go before a judge and plead my case over the protection order. The judge did not grant her one, but just extended the emergency one to follow the divorce. So it just come down to who will pay the fees. We didn't have much money then, so I had to find a job in a new state, and I will hopefully be filing for divorce before Christmas. Good. The sooner you can get away from this wacko, the better. And if he takes a hit, which he, after 15 years of marriage, I'm sure he will, it's worth it. It's unfortunate that this happens to him, but unfortunate things do happen, and you have to deal with them. But hopefully he learns from this and don't get married again. He says, I lost a brother over this since he's a retired police officer. He called me a liar, asked if the guy should lose his job over this, and put the stuff my soon-to-be ex dropped off on the porch for 2 days. It's a 5.5-hour drive to get back to the town it all happened in. Well, that's terrible. I mean, he knows another cop is nailing his wife. They're getting divorced over this whole thing, and he has right to find out and take action, and his brother, who's a cop, wants nothing to do with him? Then come on. To anyone who read the last time I posted and supported me, thank you all to the people and for those who thought I was lying. I don't care, because I was there and heard the words come out of her mouth. Thank you for taking your time to read this, and I'll be looking forward to meeting someone new who will treat me with love and respect. No, you should not be rushing to meet some girl that'll be new to treat you with love and respect. You need time to work on yourself and get your life back on track, because divorce is no pretty situation. When you get divorced, then you rebuild with your career and getting where you live, starting new, and then down the road, maybe, just maybe, you can date. But fuck, getting married again after this shit, you out of your mind, but some guys never learn. Now for an update here, he says, as the title says, she ended up having an affair with the guy for 3 years. I called the police department, even talked to the chief, but they said they needed a name, and I don't know who that's supposed to be. I wasn't there when she got pulled over, and I wasn't involved with the affair. All they did was call her, which of course she denied, then had a detective talk to the male officers. Did they think he raised a hand and confessed? She lost her job because she called in too much to see him. So I know she's been riding around with him, especially the week of October 24th through 28th. So body cam footage and patrol car footage exist. She lost her job because she was obsessed with this guy and kept wanting to see him or something like that, and was riding around with him. That's the part that makes me... I mean, what do you do? Put her in the back to make people think that she was somebody that was arrested? I don't know. He says it's a small department of 33 cops, and you can exclude the female officers, blah, blah, blah. Now for the final update, he says here, I must be getting close to something because on the 16th, she went and said I violated the protective order. They put an arrest warrant out for me with no explanation. I have to go down and see a judge before I can find anything out. As for getting close, I contacted her ex-boss to find out why she was terminated and asked if anyone from the police department has come by to see her. The next day, she went to the police department. I have to take the divorce paperwork down there and file it anyway. But I can't believe they can just arrest you without even violating anything, just going by her word. Yeah, well, welcome to real life where a gal can say anything and pretty much a guy's guilty until proven guilty because, well, you're always guilty. Because even if you didn't do it, somebody's going to think you're guilty anyway and just got some good lawyer to get you off. But anyhow, guys, that wraps this up. Unfortunately, there is no further ending to this. But the point is, you can't make this shit up. This is why I call this channel, They Did What. She was pulled over for a DUI, real classy girl. But instead, okay, I'll trade something for you, officer. And they're having an affair for 3 years. And he finds out about this, and now he's the bad guy in the situation. I mean, it's terrible. If this guy is out of his mind, if he ever thinks he wants to get in a relationship again, let alone getting married. But I do wish him the best of this whole thing, that he becomes not scarred too much from the divorce process. But, so, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let us think about this. And, guys, you come across a really good story like to share, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it. I definitely will want to get a chance. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.